Picard, Episode 10, and full season review. Engage. So Picard is one of those series that suffers heavily from secondhand syndrome. You know, you go out and you give some toys to someone else, you pass them down secondhand, and then you watch that person play completely wrong with your toys. Now, for a lot of people, they can't get over this. For some people, it's okay and they don't really mind people telling that story in their own sort of way. But when you have such a big franchise, it's easy to understand that if you have massive inconsistencies throughout an entire show, why there will be a lot of people that don't like him. And that doesn't say anything against some of the fan service that they may have provided or what storylines they decided to work from. However, I really enjoyed this last episode if I'm viewing this series for what it is. And luckily for me, I liked what they put across within the realms of it being its own little contained kind of show and part of the Star Trek universe. However, the thing that is annoying people, and I'm sure, isn't just the inconsistencies when it comes back to tying into previous stuff, it's actually in the writing itself, which just feels a bit all over the place, unexplained and rushed. Because you can't say there haven't been moments in this that have made you really like, yeah, come on, this is what I've been expecting to see from the show. But at the same time, there's loads of stuff which they present and then they just leave hanging and you're like... So while I enjoyed episode 10, there was a lot of moments like this.
Make it so. If you figure out a way to get us out of this one, I'll name it after you. Card maneuver. Wait, no, that's actually a thing, isn't it?
But then, on the flip side, there's a lot of moments that are more like this. Fuck!
Acting Captain Will Riker in command of the USS Zheng He.
Yes! Let's go, Will! Let's go!
Eleanor.
Don't do this to me. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies. So, while I think it's quite a good sci-fi show, I think ultimately what was missing from this is, firstly, if you can make what would fit into maybe a 2-part episode of TNG into 10 episodes and not make it make as much sense for a lot of people or irk them in a way that doesn't work well, you haven't fully done your job. But on the flip side, when a big majority of people still like it, then you're not doing the wrong thing completely. Luckily, this is a first season. Now you can go into the second season because there was loads of moments that you're going to get feedback on that people loved, and you're going to realize it was loads of stuff that called back into the main franchise. We loved those moments where we saw familiar faces and we had enough screen time from them. And that's what was good about this episode. That's what made this episode probably the best one, is we had so much TNG mixed in with it finally, you know, and that's what we turn up for. That's what I feel like Godzilla, like, you know, when they put Bryan Cranston in Godzilla, you can't do that to people, you know, you can't trick them, you can't say here's Picard and not give them what they want. But at the same time, there's going to be people that feel really justified, and that's completely okay as well, right? The one thing that is missing from this show, and I've seen it in my comments and I see it in community so much these days, but what I thought, hey, maybe everyone argued all the time, but ultimately, when I used to finish an episode of The Next Generation, and even now as I'm doing my rewatch, I want to be a better human being on some level. I look to the stars and think, you know what? Humanity might just have a chance. But at the end of this, they kind of just shat on all sorts of hopes and dreams. Yeah, they got a little bit across, but it just removes so much hope. It didn't have that sort of feeling. And I hope people can understand what I mean. Like, there's just something a little bit hollow about it. Almost as hollow as the golem that we all knew Picard would end up in. That was going to happen regardless, you know? That was always going to happen. I don't want these reviews to drag on. I know everyone's going to have an opinion on it, so please give me your opinion on what you thought about Picard, where it's at, and where you'd like it to go. Other than that, I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone that's watched the Picard stuff, like especially the theory video. I apologize, it was wrong, but like I said, at least it had us all believing for a minute, you know? And that's something that I really feel Star Trek did well for everyone. It makes us just believe. And hey, we've now got a whole second series which might nail it a bit more if you didn't enjoy it. And if you did, you've got more of it coming, you know? So thank you to everyone that's joined on. But give me suggestions for anything that you would like to see me cover as far as Star Trek goes. And I will see you in the next... There is no next. There's not another one, actually, until it comes back on. So I will leave you with this. Be nicer to each other. This is a show that is based on everyone getting along, ultimately, and finding a common ground amongst differences and stuff. So remember that when you engage with people, they are also members of this fan base, because we're all here to make things better. You know, that's how it should be anyway. So yeah, as always, live long and prosper. Can I like beam myself out of this one? I feel like I should definitely beam myself out of it. I've earned it. I've earned it. This is the Picard maneuver, man. Like, come on.